Your brother Aaron and his sons Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar will be set apart from the common people. They will be my priest and will minister to me. Make special clothing for Aaron to show his separation to God. Beautiful garments that will lend dignity to his work. Instruct all those who have special skills as tailors to make the garments that will set Aaron apart from everyone else, so he may serve me as a priest. They are to make a chest piece, an ephod, a robe, an embroidered tunic, a turban, and a sash. They will also make special garments for Aaron's sons to wear when they serve as priests for me. These items must be made of fine linen cloth and embroidered with gold thread and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. The ephod must be made of fine linen cloth and skillfully embroidered with gold thread and purple, blue, and scarlet yarn. It will consist of 2 pieces, front and back, joined at the shoulders with 2 shoulder pieces, and the sash will be made of the same materials, fine linen cloth embroidered with gold thread and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. Take 2 onyx stones and engrave on them the names of the tribes of Israel. 6 names will be on each stone, naming all the tribes in the order of their ancestors' birth. Engrave these names in the same way a gem cutter engraves a seal. Mount the stones in gold settings. Fasten the 2 stones on the shoulder piece of the ephod as memorial stones for the people of Israel. Aaron will carry these names before the Lord as a constant reminder. The settings are to be made of gold filigree, and 2 cords made of pure gold will be attached to the settings of the shoulders of the ephod. Then, with the most careful workmanship, make a chest piece that will be used to determine God's will. Use the same material as you did for the ephod, fine linen clothing embroidered with gold thread and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. Then, with the most careful workmanship, make a chest piece that will be used to determine God's will. Use the same materials as you did for the ephod, fine linen cloth embroidered with gold thread and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. This chest piece will be made of 2 folds of clothing, forming a pouch 9 inches square. 4 rows of gemstone will be attached to it. The first row will contain a red coralline, a chrysolite, and an emerald. The second row will contain a turquoise, sapphire, and a white moonstone. The third row will contain a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst. The fourth row will contain a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. All these stones will be set in gold. Each stone will represent one of the tribes of Israel, and the name of that tribe will be engraved on it as though it were a seal. To attach the chest piece to the ephod, make braided cords of pure gold. Then make 2 gold rings and attach them to the top corner of the chest piece. The 2 gold cords will go through the rings on the chest piece, and the ends of the cords will be tied to the gold settings of the shoulder pieces of the ephod. Make 2 more gold rings and attach them to the ephod near the sash. Then attach the bottom rings of the chest piece to the rings on the ephod with blue cords. This will hold the chest piece securely to the ephod above the beautiful sash. In this way, Aaron will carry the names of the tribes of Israel on the chest piece over his heart when he goes into the presence of the Lord in the holy place. Thus, the Lord will be reminded of his people continually. Insert into the pocket of the chest piece the Urim and Thummim to be carried over Aaron's heart when he goes into the Lord's presence. Thus, Aaron will always carry the objects used to determine the Lord's will for his people whenever he goes into before the Lord. Make the robe of the ephod entirely of blue cloth with an opening for Aaron's head in the middle of it. The opening will be reinforced by a woven collar, so it will not tear. Make pomegranates out of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and attach them to the hem of the robe. with gold bells between them. The gold bells and pomegranates are to alternate all around the hem. Aaron will wear the robe whenever he enters the holy place to minister to the Lord, and the bells will tinkle as he goes in and out of the Lord's presence. If he wears it, he will not die. Next, make a medallion of pure gold using the techniques of an engraver. Inscribe in it with these words: set apart as holy to the Lord. This medallion will be attached to the front of Aaron's turban by means of a blue cord. Aaron will wear it on his forehead, thus bearing the guilt connected with any errors regarding the sacrifice offerings of the people of Israel. He will always wear it so the Lord will accept the people. Weave Aaron's patterned tunic from fine linen cloth. Fashion the turban out of this linen as well. Also make him an embroidered sash. Then for Aaron's sons, make tunics, sashes, and headdresses to give them dignity and respect. Clothe Aaron and his sons with these garments, and then anoint and ordain them. Set them apart as holy so they can serve as my priests. Also make linen underclothes for them to be worn next to their bodies, reaching from waist to thigh. These must be worn whenever Aaron and his sons enter the tabernacle or approach the altar in the holy place to perform their duties. Thus, they will not incur guilt and die. This law is permanent for Aaron and his descendants. This is the ceremony of the dedication of Aaron and his sons as priests. Take a young bull and 2 rams with no physical defects. Then, using fine wheat flour and no yeast, make loaves of breads, thin cakes baked with olive oil, and wafers with oil poured over them. Place these various kinds of bread in a single basket and present them at the entrance of the tabernacle along with the young bull and 2 rams. Present Aaron and his sons at the entrance of the tabernacle and wash them with water. Then put Aaron's tunic on him, along with the embroidered robe of the ephod itself, the chest piece, and the sash, and place on his head the turban with the gold medallion. Then take the anointing oil and pour it over his head. Next, present his sons and dress them in their tunics. With their woven sashes and their headdresses, they will be priests forever in this way. You will ordain Aaron and his sons. Then bring the young bull to the entrance of the tabernacle, and Aaron and his sons will lay their hands on its head. You will then slaughter it in the Lord's presence at the entrance of the tabernacle. Smear some of its blood on the horns of the altar with your finger, and pour out the rest at the base of the altar. Take all the fat that covers the internal organs, also long lobe of the liver and 2 kidneys, with their fat, and burn them on the altar. Then take the carcass, including the skin and the dung, outside the camp and burn it as a sin offering. Next, Aaron and his sons must lay their hands on the head of the one of the rams that is slaughtered. Its blood will be collected and sprinkled on the sides of the altar. Cut up the ram and wash off the internal organs and the legs. Set them alongside the head and the other pieces of the body, and burn them all on the altar. This is a burnt offering to the Lord, which is very pleasing to him. Now take the other ram and have Aaron and his sons lay their hands on its head as it is slaughtered. Collect the blood and place some of it on the tip of the right earlobes of Aaron and his sons. Also put it on their right thumbs and big toes on their right feet. Sprinkle the rest of the blood on the sides of the altar. Then take some of the blood from the altar and mix it with some of the anointing oil. Sprinkle it on Aaron and his sons and on their clothes. In this way, they and their clothing will be set apart as holy to the Lord. Since this is the ram from the ordination of Aaron and his sons, take the fat of the ram, including the fat tail and the fat that covers the internal organs. Also take the long lobe of the liver and 2 kidneys with their fat and their right thigh. Then take 1 loaf of bread, 1 cake mixed with olive oil, and 1 wafer from the basket of the yeastless bread that was placed before the Lord. Put all these in the hands of Aaron and his sons to be lifted up as a special gift to the Lord. Afterward, take the bread from their hands and burn it on the altar as a burnt offering that will be pleasing to the Lord. Then take the breast of Aaron's ordination ram and lift it up in the Lord's presence as a special gift to him. Afterwards, keep it for yourself. Set aside as holy the parts of the ordination ram belonging to Aaron and his sons. This includes the breast and the thighs that were lifted up before the Lord in the ordination ceremony. In the future, whenever the people of Israel offer up peace offerings or thanksgiving offerings to the Lord, these parts will be the regular share of Aaron and his descendants. Aaron's sacred garments must be preserved for his descendants who will succeed him, so they can be anointed and ordained in them. Whoever is the next high priest after Aaron will wear these clothes for 7 days before beginning to minister in the tabernacle and the holy place. Take the ram used in the ordination ceremony and boil its meat in a sacred place. Aaron and his sons are to eat this meat along with the bread in the basket at the tabernacle's entrance. They alone may eat the meat and bread used for their anointment in the ordination ceremony. The ordinary people may not eat them, for these things are set apart and holy. If any of the ordination meat or bread remains until the morning, it must be burnt. It may not be eaten, for it is holy. This is how you will ordain Aaron and his sons to their offices. The ordination ceremony will go on for 7 days. Each day you must sacrifice a young bull as an offering for the anointment of sin. Afterwards, make an offering to cleanse the altar. Purify the altar by making atonement for it. Make it holy by anointing it with oil. Make atonement for the altar every day for 7 days. After that, the altar will be exceedingly holy, and whatever touches it will become holy. This is what we are to offer on the altar. Offer 2 one-year-old lambs each day, one in the morning and the other in the evening. With one of them, offer 2 quarts of fine flour mixed with 1 quart of olive oil. Also, offer 1 quart of wine as a drink offering. Offer the other lamb in the evening, along with the same offerings of flour and wine as in the morning. It will be a fragrant offering to the Lord, an offering made by fire. This is to be a daily burnt offering given from generation to generation. Offer it in the Lord's presence at the tabernacle entrance, where I will meet you and speak with you. I will meet the people of Israel there, and the tabernacle will be sanctified by my glorious presence. Yes, I will make the tabernacle and the altar most holy, and I will set apart Aaron and his sons as holy. They may be my priest. I will live among the people of Israel and be their God, and they will know that I am the Lord their God. I am the one who brought them out of Egypt so I could live among them. I am the Lord their God.